Good day and welcome to my presentation of my Digimon Jewellery Case cabinet. You may be wondering, how did I get here? How did I come to possession of such an object? Well, I'll tell you. Optimistically, I was hoping to just buy something and for it to work, but the thickness of it just wasn't enough. So I set forth on correcting such mistake by using my knowledge of wood and crafting skills. By detailing the exact measurements of my failure, I had decided to go on a journey outside to get the materials that I needed to fix my problem. The outside have wonderful things such as LMP drink, motorized scooters, and free wood, but we're not here for free. We want to buy things. Hinges, well, we need screws to tighten it all together, and wood for the frame, according to my measurements, which are never accurate. I just have to find the right wood with the right size. 25 plus maths equals about 3 stacks of wood, precisely. If you're lazy like me, you can pay somebody to cut the wood for you. $1 per cut. An outstanding value. Thank you, tradie. Now that the wood is finally cut, you can see your dog on the way out. Sausage files are mandatory purchases, but I don't eat meat. After destroying public property, you get the items back to your house. It's important to measure a lot and draw lots of lines, because you can only do this once or you'll screw it up. You'll need a drill bit, some glasses to protect your eyes, and a whole lot of patience. Lots of holes. I want the door to sit flat, so we need to make a hole for the hinges to sit in. I'll then be carving it out using a Dremel. Dremel is actually a factory name. It's more commonly known as a multi-purpose tool, I believe. Anyway, back to putting the frame together, screws, fixing it up, and sanding it off. Sanding and polishing is very important. This is one of my first mistakes. I thought it would be quicker if I stapled on the back, but it turns out that doesn't work and it looks really bad. So I had to undo all of this, pull out every staple that I did, carving out a gap to fit the backing piece in. Remember to stay clean. You don't want to drag those wood pieces into the house and then you flatten it. You hate you. But the extra work is worth it. Look at that finish. Flat. Pre-drilling a hole for the screws to go in. This makes it easier for the screw to go in and also puts less pressure on the wood so that it doesn't crack and break. Look at that happy screw in its house, enjoying itself. Now for all of the hinge screws. And the placement, it must be perfect, so it takes a bit of time. Something I didn't record very well is that I placed super magnets into the frame itself using a hole and then some kneaded putty to smooth it off and permanently keeping the magnet in. The backing foam was cut to the specifications that I thought that my maths was perfect in, but it turned out I was wrong, and so I needed to trim off just a small amount along the edge. Lucky it was too much, not too little. Now to make a hole for the device, I needed to make the same cut multiple times, so I made this stencil so that I could duplicate it many times over. Finally, for the painting, I decided to go for a standard black look with easy on spray paint. Keeping the flow even is the most important thing. Even though I didn't need to, I still spray painted the back as well. I decide to put some plastic wrap over the foam so that it looks a lot neater and more professional. But my second mistake. After I did this, it just didn't look very good. It's important to learn from your mistakes and to fix things when they don't work. So if you're going through this and you have a feeling in your gut that it's not working, stop, go backwards, try it again. It's easier to admit defeat earlier on and solve the problem before it becomes big and out of hand. Here is extra card backing pieces. Now, after the plastic debacle, I went to the fabric store and picked up this gorgeous green fabric. Here, ironed it flat and then place it down. This time, I'm sure it will be perfect. Patting it down for good luck. At this point, I'm still not sure exactly what I'm going to do, so I still cut a little bit extra than what I need. Something that I didn't consider is that the fabric will make the hole a little thicker, which made it harder to put the devices in later on. Aesthetically, I don't like the chain to just dangle down, so I added some loopholes so that the chain could be clipped up next to the device. These rods are placed in so that the loophole cannot be pulled out from the front. The fabric covering worked so well I decided to add it to the frame just to create the look even more fancy. I'm using a ear glue that sets quite quickly. Getting the corners right was the trickiest part. Now to glue on the backing cardboard that I cut out earlier, I'm just using a combination of sticky glue and this PVA that I just had lying around. So close to the end now, just placing on the backing pieces and then screwing them back on. Look how happy those screws are. I cut a small gap in the frame fabric so that I could still attach the hinges and have access to them later just in case I needed to repair something. Now finally placing the glass back on, which I'd kept safe this whole time. Although the hours in total would be quite short, it did take me several months to complete this project. Because I'm flatting, I can't actually nail things to the wall, so I'm using this 3M sticky tape specifically made for artwork. To get it lined up correctly, I put some wool on the wall in guidelines so that I could measure it up correctly. Taking it down after I've finished, and then finally placing the devices inside the finished frame. If you listen carefully at the end, you'll be able to hear a clunk sound, which is the magnets being attracted to each other and closing the lid. It's very satisfying and one of my the favorite parts of this project. The devices that you see here have been hand dyed by me. I have a separate video on how I did that, but it's an interesting technique and it's quite fun. So please look at the other videos in this channel. Here we are at the end of the video. Wow, you made it. If you would like to see more photos of these devices, then you can go to my Instagram, which is the same as this channel, Digimon Bytes. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I hope you had a fun time and also you're inspired to do it yourself. If you are and you did do it, I would love to see the results. So send me a message if you did it. Good luck, and I hope you have a great day.